When we left off with our previous video, we were looking at our brand new WordPress website and blog, and this again is what it looks like when you install it. So the first step is to log in. And this is the dashboard. This is the back end of your website and blog. And we're going to go through all of these things, so don't be intimidated. Now, this stuff here, this can actually be customized and moved around if you choose. These are some little tutorials that WordPress gives you, and then you can choose to dismiss these if you want. I'm going to go ahead and dismiss them so we have more room on the screen for me to show you some other stuff. So at a glance, WordPress will tell you how many posts and pages you have and how many comments. It automatically does come installed with a post and a page, and I'm going to show you how to delete those and how to add your own posts and pages and all of that good stuff. This will show you some recent activity. It also comes with a comment from Mr. WordPress on your post. If you wanted to create like a quick draft of a post, you could. It has a much better editor for creating posts and pages, and we'll go through that soon. And then this is just some WordPress news. If you wanted to learn more about WordPress and any updates that are happening, WordPress is open source, so it's free. There's always lots of updates, and I'll show you how to update WordPress as well. So yeah, so this is the first screen that you see, and again, you can customize that. So let's start going over some of the things here, and our first step is to look at the settings. Now, if you remember when we installed WordPress, I told you that you could always change the name and the tagline of your blog or your website. And so that is how you do it. You come to this general settings, and that's the first thing you see. And so if we look at our website right now, you can see it says sample blog. So if we change that, I'm going to take out the sample. Alright, so I will save that. We'll come over here, we'll refresh our screen, and you can see that it changed. So you can always change things. This is an important one. If you ever change your email address from the one that you created your website with, you can change it here. This is so you can change how the date is displayed. I personally like this option, so I'm going to keep it. And if you ever wanted to change anything else, that's how you would do it. Writing. So the default post category comes as uncategorized. As you set up categories, you can change it so that it's not in the uncategorized one anymore. We're going to show you how to set up categories in a future video. Reading. Now, if you want your front page to be in a blog style where it talks about blog posts and they just get stacked on top of each other in a blog style, you'll keep it as latest posts. Now, if you want to use your WordPress blog as a website and have a page that you have created and designed and it doesn't change, then you would choose a static page and you would choose which page to have. And we'll go through that more in a future video, but just so you know what that is. If you do choose to have just the posts stacked on top of each other, you can choose the number of posts here, and as well if you wanted to have your blog feed displayed somewhere, you can choose how many posts to have. as well as a full text or just a summary. That's all up to you. Discussion is whether or not you want to have comments on your posts and pages. Now you can alter them post by post, page by page. This is just the standard. You're setting up the standard settings here, but you can always choose that later. This is also where you can set up your comment moderation. So if someone, and there's a lot of spam bot type things out there that will just automatically leave comments, and when we go through the plugins and I explain what plugins are, we'll talk about some anti-spam plugins. But you can also choose which comments will be displayed and which will be held for moderation in these settings. So if you want to be emailed whenever anyone posts a comment, you can check this. If your blog starts getting a lot of comments, you're going to be getting a ton of emails about it, and you may not want that, so you can always uncheck that. And if you want to automatically just have every comment be held and that you have to approve every comment, you can check that. Again, if you get a lot of comments, that's going to be a big task. So that's up to you as to whether or not you want to check mark that one. This is a good one. It says if they have if someone has already commented and you've approved them, then they will just automatically be approved in the future. So that's a good one to check, and the other ones, until you approve them, they need to be held in moderation. You can also say, for example, the spam comments, these spam bot things, the comments that they have will have a lot of links, because that's what they're doing, is they're trying to get people to visit these websites, and so they link to all these websites in the comment. And you can always set this little feature, so how many links will appear in a comment before that comment is held as spam. And you can set that, if anyone posts any link, and you can, drop down here and just do one link. If they post one link, it is automatically held as a spam comment. Or if you say, you know what, maybe they'll link to their site, maybe if they put 2 comments in there or 2 links in that comment, then that's probably spammy. So you can decide. The automatic feature there that WordPress puts in there is 2, but you can drop that down to 1. So if anybody is leaving any links, that's automatically held as a spam. And then there are also some other spam plugins that help a lot, but this is where you find all of your comment settings, and that's under discussion settings. And then we have the media settings, and this is where you set up the size for the media that gets displayed. So on your front page, if you, this is that standard hello world post that just comes along with WordPress. It doesn't include a picture, but if it did and it was displayed here, this is where you set those image settings. So the thumbnail size would be 150 by 150 pixels. You can change that, and then your max width. You can always change these things, and depending on the theme that you choose may have specific settings as well, and we will talk about themes in a future video, but this is the generalized settings, and that's under media. Now permalinks, I think, is really important. This is how people will get to each post and page. So this will be the actual post and page URL. And personally, I like to do a post name. So for example, if your website is yourwebsite.com and you have an about page, the link would be yourwebsite.com/about. Okay? So whatever your URL is / the name of your post or page, that is how I personally like to have them set up. You don't have to do that. There's different people who like to have the dates and everything included in their URL, and that is fine too. So there's all these different ways of doing it. But my personal thing, I come in here and I change it to post name so that I know for the future It's just yourwebsite.com slash whatever you choose for the name of your post or page. So I'm going to click Save Changes because that's one that I do want to change. And that's all of your settings. And so now we can look at the tools, and if you have previously created like a free blog on WordPress.com or through Blogger where they were hosting it for you, and this is the first time that you're using WordPress on your own domain, you can import those posts that you've already created, and you use this tool, this import tool. And you just pick whichever service you are using and it walks you through that process. If you are creating a blog for the first time right now, you don't have any previous posts anywhere, you won't even need to use this. But if you did have, like I said, a blog somewhere out there and you wanted those posts to come here, this is how you would do it. Users, if you have a group blog and you have more than one user, this is where you set up all of their rights and all of that good stuff. We'll look at the comments again. So, like I said, Mr. WordPress, he is just a standard comment that comes installed, and when you have more than one comment, you'll have they'll just be stacked on top of each other. If you were going to have a lot of actions, for example, if everything looked good and you just wanted to approve all the comments, then you could click this one here and you could come here to bulk actions and say what you wanted to do. Personally, I want to get rid of Mr. WordPress's comment, so I am going to say move to trash. You could also, when you just have one or two that you're working with, you could just click right here. So that opens up when you are putting your mouse in this area. Again, if you had a bunch of comments and you wanted to do the same thing, whether approve them all, move them to the trash, whatever you wanted to do, the bulk action works awesome. If it's just one or two, just hover your mouse over here and decide what you want to do. So I'm getting rid of that comment. Okay, so easy peasy. So we will go through all of these other things in future videos, but this was a real quick tour of settings and tools and the comments.